live. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes? Welcome back to your potential cast. Bear with me. With me, your host, General Prime. Right, I got that one perfectly correct this time around. Yeah, man. I hope everybody had like a good week. I hope everybody had a restful week in preparation of the already new week that we're already headed into. I don't I'm just here trying to like test this muse because like in the book The War of Art talks about if you just give yourself to the if you just like try. But whatever, man, whatever, fuck that shit. We're just going to do it the way we do it, the way we've always done it. Listen, man, this actually is 2 days in the making. Like the first part of this intro was yesterday, and then I'm doing the second part today because whenever you try to like make something happen, whenever like you, I don't know if it happens to everybody else, but mostly me. I'm sure it happens to mostly me all the time. Like when you make a plan, when you've like crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's, and you've checked everywhere to know if there is anything that can go wrong with the plan, and then you find like you're sure and you're 100% sure that okay, this plan that I have set out to make, I'm absolutely sure it's going to work, and I've looked at every angle and I cannot find anything that will like fuck with my plan and like just mess everything up, right? Okay, let's press the button and execute the plan. Like I'm sure that happens to, I don't know if it happens to everybody else, but it happens to me all the time. And so then you press the button to execute the plan and everything just goes south. Everything just like there's this saying, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plan. I don't know if the saying is true. I don't know if it happens, if it's real, but whenever I want to like make a plan and like I've set everything in motion, it just falls apart all the time. Like it goes fuck you and your plan. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do, and that's that about that. And so this is me one day later continuing with what I set out to do yesterday, which wasn't even supposed to happen yesterday, but was supposed to happen 2 days earlier on Sunday. So this is me recording on Tuesday after I failed to record on Monday, which actually was supposed to happen, which is actually something that was supposed to happen on Sunday. So yeah, bear with me. I mean, the name of the bloody podcast is Bear With Me. Even if it's a play on words, it's actually it's actually what it is. So bear with me. But on the other hand, actually, I feel like, okay, for example, let me put this into perspective. Like, I don't know if this happens to, like, I always try my best to be relatable, right? I always try to, like, tell stories or, like, bring up instances that people can relate to and, like, try their best to see where I'm coming from and, like, see things from my own point of view and my own perspective. But what I'm trying to say right now is, if like for example, now I don't know if this happens to everybody else. Like, let's say you're playing chess, right? You're in the hot seat with someone, and then you're playing chess. There are moves that you're not going to see, right? There are moves that you're not going to immediately like think of or see or whatever. And then if you leave, like, let's say you're no longer playing, and then you're watching someone, let's say you're watching your friend play, you're going to see more moves than your friend. You're going to like, it's the same. It happens like in every aspect of life. For example, now people that watch people that watch soccer, right? Yes, they are going to be the ones saying pass the ball here, this one. It's the same thing with people that watch basketball. Like, they always call the players that are actually playing the game, they always call them stupid for not doing something in particular that they themselves think they could have done if they were in that position. It's like everybody thinks they can do better. If everybody likes to claim that they can, or everybody thinks that they can do better if put in situations that's, I don't know, if put in specific situations. Like, everybody likes to claim that, or everybody likes to think that they can do better. But then once they're put in that position, you see everybody starts fumbling. You see everybody starts like fucking up, forgetting their lines, forgetting the roles, that the parts that they're supposed to play. Like it's just basic human stuff. Even I can give another like example. Like for example, like, let's say you're arguing with someone, right? You're in a hot seat with someone. You're in a very hot argument with someone, and things are just getting out of hand. Things are just about to get out of hand, and then the person drops some bomb on you, and you're like, and then wins the argument. Right? It happens all the time. It has happened to every single one of us. Then 2 days later, 5 days later, 1 week later, you're in the bathroom, you're bathing, or you're by yourself, you're doing something else, and then you remember some absolute world ender of a point that you could have made that would have like that would have like ended the argument in your favor, and then made, like you would have won the argument if you had dropped that bomb. Like you, there's always that nugget of information that we always tend to forget whenever we're in the heat of a battle, or whenever we're in something. It's like like there are many ways that this happens to us. I don't know what it is. Like I don't know if there is a name for it. I don't know what we can call it, but I don't even know if as in, it's something that everybody can relate to. Like it happens all the time. Like in literally every aspect of life. Say you're watching a video where, let me say, like there's a shooting, or there's something dangerous happening in the video, and you, or let's say it's obviously on Twitter, and you're watching something on Twitter and stuff is going on. There are always people in the comments that will be like, why didn't you do this, or why didn't you do that, or if I was the one I could have done this, or if I was the one I could have done that, if I was the one I could have done this. You understand? People always feel like, or people always think that whenever they are put in certain situations, that okay, this is what they're going to do. It's the same way. It's also the same way. Like it actually has its own positive aspects, in the sense that it's also the same way that people think that they can spend on, like for example, another example I can give. Another example I can give is, let's say someone wins a lottery, right, and then fucks the money up, like squanders the money. Like we humans always think that we're perfectly capable um of we're perfectly capable of rightfully and logically and practically spending other people's money. It's like whenever we hear of celebrities that are going broke, or whenever we hear that someone won a lottery and then person squandered the money and fucked the money up, and we're always like, really, you couldn't do this with the money, you couldn't do that with the money, you couldn't do this and that with the money, like you couldn't. By the way, like I always say, there's still construction going on outside my house. And so if you hear any noise, then just bear with me. Please bear with me. It's the name of the episode. It's the name of the podcast. Like, just forget it. Don't don't think too much of it. It's not going to. It's not going to. Like, it's the same thing with, like, let's say all these. I always ask myself, right? Like all these adverts, let's say on YouTube now, like all these companies that don't like putting their ads on videos that content creators use, that content creators swear a lot. Like they always like keeping it like PG-13. They always like keeping it censored and clean and stuff, like no swear words and stuff. It's like, why? Your product, I want to buy your product, right? I don't care. You're not supposed to care if I swear. After all, everybody swears. Like literally everybody says fuck at some point in time, no matter how righteous you might think you are, no matter how like disciplined or like Christian or religious you are, everybody swears at some point in time. And saying like saying that you don't swear, or saying like going out of your way to say gosh damn it, or Dan or Forge or whatever else fucking people say, like going out of your way to say that makes you less than, in my opinion, that makes you less than human. Because like, why are you just free yourself, just say fuck. There's absolutely nothing wrong that is going to happen. And if your product, like your product, my the reason, the way I swear shouldn't be like you're trying to sell a product, right? Your main, as in your main goal is to make money. So why should you care if I say fuck? You understand? Like you also say fuck, right? So what's the point? So that doesn't make any sense the way I see it. That is just me just going off on some weird as random tangent. That doesn't make any sense. So if you're like, things should just be organic. Things should not be so scripted and so like, I don't know, fucking weird. Like, okay, you can hear the noise going on in background, right? From the construction going on. Does that have to matter? Like, why am I even apologizing? Like, if you can hear it's fine, cool. Who gives a fuck? Right? They are building some new apartments somewhere close to my own apartment. So, and if you can hear the construction going on, it means that your your ears are working well. So anyway, back to what I was saying, right? Yeah, people tend to think that they know how to spend other people's money better. Like, for example, Elon Musk bought Twitter for 44 billion, and then people are saying, there are children in Africa that need the money that you don't need to spend. Bruh, as in, that's like an overused lame excuse that because some rich person has a certain amount of money, that they're not supposed to use that money for what they want to use it for. Instead, they should use it to feed poor children. And what the fuck? Like, that excuse is no longer valid, because I don't think spending an absurd amount of money for that cause is actually going to solve the problem. Do you understand? I don't think that let's imagine that Elon Musk, let's just enter Elon Musk's head and imagine that he had $44 billion lying around somewhere, and then he decided that, you know what, Twitter, I think I should buy Twitter because it's actually going downhill, and it's Twitter is like what do they call it? Twitter is the fucking, I don't know. I forgot. There's what they call Twitter, where everybody's voice has to be heard, and where everybody has the opinion and the right to say whatever it is they want to say. And so, like, when there's so much noise in the fucking town hall, yeah, Twitter is like the town hall of, or humanity's town hall of the internet space. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. So yeah, Twitter was going downhill, and so Elon Musk was like, I have $44 billion lying around somewhere. Let me just check my couch and like get it and use it to buy Twitter. But I understand that Twitter is going downhill. What if I use this 44 billion instead to feed the children of Africa? Like, how are you going to do it? Like, what are you going to do? How are you going to go about it? What am I going to do actually, as me being Elon Musk? What am I going to do? How am I going to like feed the hungry children in Africa with $44 billion? How are we going to do it? Like, am I going to like give the money to charities, and how much of the money am I going to donate to charities, and how much of the money that has been donated to the charities is actually going to reach the actual pockets of the child? Like, you understand what I'm saying? So people that make those excuses and like give those instances and say stuff like that, they don't actually know what they're saying, because it's a lot more complex. Like, buying Twitter for $44 billion is a lot more simple than you spending it on hungry African children. It's not that simple. It's like, it's way harder than you think. So to go back to my original thoughts, I don't even know what I was saying. I was saying that whenever you want to make a plan, shit does not go according to the plan. And also, we always find ourselves in situations where we wish we could have come up with better plans. We wish we could have come up with better like points, better arguments, and better like reasons for things that we failed in the past. That's basically what I'm saying, because the reason why I'm saying it is because sometimes it works in our favor. Like, it works in our favor in the sense that sometimes like we have to like step back in order to see the bigger picture. Like, if you're too close to something, you cannot see you cannot see the entirety of it. Like, you have to step a lot further back in order for you to be able to see, like if it's a picture, like in order for you to be able to see the entire picture presented to you, and then like in order for you to see every angle and every aspect of it, and for you to know how to like interact with it, for you to know how to like connect with it, for you to know how to like attack it if need be. So that's the same thing that's the same thing that I feel happens to be like sometimes when I like say when I record an episode and I make a point, and then I feel like I made all the points that I was supposed to make concerning a particular topic, or concerning a particular, like, let me say, like a topic basically. And then let me say that the next day I'm listening to a lecture or a podcast or an audiobook, and I always find it's usually happens that I always find a better point that I could have made, like someone makes a better point that I could have made, like, and I'm always like, ah, yeah, that's true, man. That makes more sense than whatever it is I said earlier. So the fact that I didn't do the episode on Sunday, and I actually wanted to do it yesterday, but I couldn't, and now I am doing it today, just it all adds up, and it all goes according to the grand plan, because it just came out, yes, as in if I had done it yesterday, then there are certain things that happened later yesterday that I could have missed and I wouldn't have been able to talk about. And if I had done it on Sunday, then I mean it wouldn't have been as juicy as it actually is actually going to be right now. Bro, listen. Imagine that you're a Buddhist. Imagine that you're a Buddhist, and the whole shtick about Buddhism is like they are very Zen people, and they are very like down to earth, and they are so grounded, and they are so peaceful, and they're so like one with nature, and they're so philosophical, and they're so insightful, and they're calm, and they're like fucking just you know how we always like regard Buddhism now. You know how we always like to say, oh, if you're a Buddhist monk, like you probably know how to fight, you probably know how to um do some, I don't know, do some weird stuff. Um Imagine that you're a Buddhist monk, right? And you're a Tibetan, you're from Tibet, and even though China doesn't want to like acknowledge that Tibet is a real country, but whatever, you're from Tibet, right? And you're a Buddhist, and your whole shtick is all of these things that I've mentioned, and then it turns out that and then there's a video that came out yesterday of your leader. Just imagine the Pope. Just imagine like the Pope of the Christians, like the leader of the Pope. Let's listen. This is where we have to go to, like we have to go to the highest ranking official of any given religious institution, right? We cannot, because obviously if we call pastors, like my pastor back in Nigeria used to like fuck people, fuck bitches all the time. It's not like I heard, it's not, bro. I saw. It's not like I heard. It's not a situation of I heard. It's a situation of I saw. So so we're not going to like call pastors. We're not going to like call like normal regular pastors. We're not going to call normal regular imams or whatever, or normal, I don't know. Even like I'm not. We are. That's too like low. You understand? We have to like go to the top of the top of the top. Imagine the Catholic Pope, like the Pope himself, on live television, like molesting a child. I don't know if anybody has seen that video of like the what is his name, the Dalai Lama himself, the actual Dalai Lama that everybody likes to claim that this guy is like the holiest person in the world. He's like the most down to earth person in the world. He's the actual reincarnation of some god that lived. I don't know. I don't know what they say. It's like the actual reincarnation of some god. Like he's the most helpful, most passionate. I don't know, most emotional. Like they always like to ascribe all these like things to these people, that put themselves in this position of powers, or should I say, find themselves in this position of power, in these positions of power. Imagine that you're a Tibetan monk and you're so like, and then it came out yesterday that the Dalai Lama himself was on live television sexually assaulting a small child, like a small boy. Couldn't have been more than fucking 10 years old or 12 years old. Bro, when I saw it, it's like it was so unbelievable. As in, first of all, I didn't want to like actually. I just saw like a picture of it and I scrolled past it. And I was like, "What the fuck are these people doing now?" Right? And then I finally saw the video. Like I saw the video, bro, of the guy who was like telling the boy to kiss him on his cheek, and then he brought out his tongue and he told the boy to like suck his tongue. Oh god! And this guy is I think he's like what 89 years old. I think 89-year-old man, bro. Just imagine that. Imagine an 89-year-old man in what? Listen, I heard that like the Tibetans, like there's a way that they greet, right? There's this they have this culture in their society where I think the king's tongue was okay. Should I say the reincarnation of the god? He had a black tongue, and so the way the Tibetans greet is like they stick their tongue out, and that's like and then they show each other their tongues, like it's a form of greeting where they stick their tongues out and then they show each other their tongues so that each of them will know that, oh, my tongue is not black and so I'm not the reincarnation of the god, the next god, and stuff like that. So that's how they greet themselves. But not in this context. Not in this context, because it's not, as in like the guy brought out his tongue and told the child to like suck my tongue. Why, bro? Why? Just why? In what context or in what situation do you think it's right to ask a child to suck your tongue? Like, and then he was kissing the boy in his lips. Oh my god, this word has scatter. He was kissing the boy in his lips. And people were laughing. Like, this is the thing with this I've forgotten what it's called. Where the what is it called? I'm going to remember the name. Where something is happening and everybody's looking at it and everybody's like expecting one person to make the move to. It's the same thing that happened in the book I was talking about earlier, in my previous episode, the rape of Nanking, where like everybody was just accepting that they were being beheaded and nobody wanted to like fight back and nobody wanted to revolt. Like it happens. It's the same thing happening. Like everybody in the video was just like laughing and just agreeing with whatever it is they were whatever it is that was happening in front of them, because this person has the authority over them and he has like he's superior over them, and so everybody else like, well, if everybody else is accepting what this authoritative figure is doing, then who the hell am I not to accept it? It's like, what could you have done if you were in that situation? Would you have like run and like pushed the old man and like yelled at him? He's like, this person has taken pictures with the Pope. He has taken pictures with Obama. He has taken pictures with very powerful people. Everybody regards him. And imagine you're the parent of that child. What are you going to do? Like, imagine this person who basically is Tibetan Jesus. Like, tongue fucking your son. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck are you going to do? What are you going to do actually? Imagine that you're the parent of that child. What are you going to do? Like, the whole world is seeing that. And this is why, like, based on what I was talking about before, like everybody in that room, everybody in that, like, in that hall, there's nothing there is nothing they could have done. It's the people outside of the space, like people, let's just say basically the internet, that had like a very rightful reaction to it. Like everybody ran mad, everybody was like cross with it, everybody was, it like fucked with everybody. Do you understand? Because it's weird, it's wrong, it's rightfully wrong, regardless of whether you're a pope or you're a priest or you're a fucking imam or you're a Tibetan monk. What do they call them? Tibetan spiritual leader. What, you're not supposed to do that, man. Why? See, this is another reason why. This is another reason why I don't. I don't like. I don't like celebrity or celebrities or celebrity worship or whoever. Um, I don't like authoritative figures. Like I don't like liking them. You understand? You understand how people like, for example, now, say you go to the Tibetan monk's Instagram page, like he has like, let me say, Tibetan leader Dalai Lama, right? Let's say you go to his Instagram page. He has like 5 million followers. I don't know how many followers he has. Or let's say you go to someone like Beyonce's Instagram page where she has like 100 and something million followers, right? And I don't like the fact that people follow people to as in I don't like the fact that there's this person who can sing, or there's this person who can act, or there's this person who is very creative, and then people automatically think the person is a good person enough for them to follow the person on social media. It has never really made any sense to me. Like, my favorite band is the Luminas, and I don't even know their names. You understand? Like, my favorite band is the Luminas. My like I don't know their names. Like, my favorite, okay, let's say rapper, let's say rappers now. Let's say J. Cole, Jay Z, what is his name? Um Kendrick Lamar. Like, I don't follow them. I don't follow them. I just like their music. I don't know how I don't know what their daily lives is like. I don't know who they are in I don't know who they are in person. Like, I don't know what kind of person or what kind of personalities they have. Like, all these people that make awesome, like all these people that make very good music, like, I don't follow them because what I like is the music. It's like, on my playlist I might have like one music from one person, like one music from one person, and that might just be it, because I like the music, not the musician or not the person that made the music. I like the music itself. Sometimes I might go and like check out other stuff they've done, and it doesn't really like vibe with me. It doesn't, like, I'm not really connected to it, and so I don't I don't I don't follow through. So I just like that one thing that spoke to me that they did. Doesn't necessarily mean that I have to like the person. It's like when I see celebrities with millions of followers, like, why are you okay? People might say I'm being hypocritical, and maybe like all the people I follow are people that I know in person. You understand? All the people I follow are people that I know in person, and or people I want to like connect with to I don't know, to fucking make content with or something. But all the people I follow are people that I know in person, and I don't follow people I don't know, because you're a celebrity doesn't mean I have to follow you. And because someone is a celebrity, or because someone is in the public eye, doesn't automatically mean that they're a good person. Because right now we're seeing it, and that's why I don't like following like celebrity culture, following I don't like the whole idea of celebrity worship and celebrity I do I is it celebrity idols. I don't know, man. So, because at the end of the day it's always like, there's, as in, the truth, you can never hide the truth. The truth always comes out, because if this man can do this in public, if this is what this nigga is doing in public, in front of, not even let's exclude the cameras, like the video cameras that were there in the room, in the hall that day. Let's exclude all the whole media stuff, just the people in the room with him, like in person, with the people that were there with him at that time, at that moment in time. If he was able to do that with that much people around him, imagine what he does in private. It's like, imagine what he does, imagine what else he does in private. I don't want to like excuse his weird behavior by saying that this might be some behavior, an old timer behavior because it's weird. It's too weird to excuse. Do you understand? It's too weird to ignore. Like, no, this is too weird, bro. You cannot just like, okay, I heard that he obviously made a statement, because why wouldn't he? He obviously made an apology, because why? Because isn't that one of the currencies of internet? um I don't know, currencies of the internet, where people fuck up and then they make like flimsy, weird excuse apologetic videos. But I think I heard that he made an apology and like saying whatever. I don't know, man. What what the fuck is his name? Like, wait, let's look. He's holding. Let's check it. Let's look it up. Tibetan. There it is. Tibetan spiritual leader. Right. Okay. Uh, His Holiness wishes to apologize to the boy and his family, as well as his many friends across the world, for the hurt his words may have caused. No shit. No shit, man. His Holiness often teases people he meets in an innocent and playful way, even in public and before cameras. Well, we've never seen that. There are so many footages of there are apparently, I'm sure, so many footages of this old man doing stuff in public, and this is the first time that we are seeing him, quote unquote, teasing people innocently and in a playful way in public. We've never seen that happening before. Like, we've never seen him do the same thing to a grown-up person, have we? I don't I don't know. I don't think so. Um it's weird, regardless of how you look at it. It's weird. It's a weird thing to happen. You're, as a spiritual leader, as a quote unquote a so-called spiritual leader, you're not, I don't even know where people get this their idea of morality from, that they can just um they can just like they can just tag themselves spiritual leaders. Like, you are you saying it's the same thing with people, not to shit on Christians, not to shit on Christians. It's the same thing with Christians that claim that they are the same way. See, the same way that there are people that call themselves spiritual leaders and prophets and intercessors and, you know, I don't know, gates man of heaven. I don't know. It's the same way that there are Christians that call themselves what's that word that they call themselves? Candidate of heaven. As in, do you realize how narcissistic and how self-centered and how like fucking narcissistic you have to be to call yourself a candidate of heaven? Like, you have already passed all the you have already, as in, passed all the fucking trials and tribulations and all the whole temptations and everything, and you've ticked all the check marks and everything, and you're a candidate of and the conclusion is that you're a candidate of heaven. Like, you now as a person, you think you're so righteous that you can go to heaven. If the as in I remember when I used to go to church, the pastor would say that if the trumpets blew, that he knows that he's going to heaven immediately. It's like, how fucking self-centered do you have to be? So fucking self-righteous. You put yourself on, like, on the fucking high horse. Like, you regard yourself that high that you think that you can go to heaven if the trumpet blows immediately. It's like, if there is rapture. People are that delusional. It's the same thing. So when all these people call themselves, when all these people give themselves these names, like, the higher the name they give themselves, the more distrustful I am of them. Because at the end of the day, it always happens. It's like, how can nobody else see it? Because it always literally happens. It happens. It has happened with this fucking what's his name, Dalai Lama. It has happened with the Pope. It has happened with Donald Trump. It has happened with fucking what's his name? Andrew Tate. It has happened with, like, so many other people I cannot even think of right now. That whenever they exalt themselves above everybody else, and then they call themselves like the leaders, or like the people, the personalities that people are supposed to like look up to. And it's also okay. Let me not even forget all these cults. Like, all there's this documentary I was watching about this church in South Korea where the pastor was like molesting church members, and then he eventually got caught. It's like, another thing again is, how do people fall for it? You understand? Like, how are people able to fall for all these scams? Because basically they are scams. They are psychological scams, and the fact that people fall for them beats me all the time, because I'm now trying to like think of my own self. I'm trying to be introspective and trying to think of if there is anything that I'm doing in my life that um if there's anything I'm doing in my life at the moment that is being that is being for the benefit, apart from the job I do, apart from my work, because obviously somehow most of us are in the rat race, and it's near impossible to like reach escape velocity where you can be able to, where you can decide not to go to, like where you can decide not to work, but you still earn money, and like you're just free to do whatever it is you want to do, right? Apart from that, because everybody has to work to get money, to earn money. Is there anything else I'm doing in my life that uh is for the benefit of someone else? Like, am I sucking up to somebody else? Like, that's basically what I'm asking. Like, am I sucking up to somebody else? Am I being a pawn in someone else's game? Am I being like a tool? Am I being a cog in him? Am I being a cog in the machine? Do you understand? Because this is what these people are. Like, if people who go to church, people who go to any spiritual gathering, basically, and people who like to like people who are always part of something, they like to like attach themselves to some important ideology that they find important. Do you understand? They like to be in tribes. They like to be, that is what we humans are. We're very, very tribalistic. So we like attaching ourselves to tribes and people with like minds and people with common goals, just to feel among, just to feel like you're part of something bigger. Do you understand? And so we most of the time humans attach themselves to like the wrong the wrong thing, the bad thing, and then there's always consequences. So for example, most I'm not even going to I'm just going to be blunt with it. Most religious institutions are just cults, and and also people who like to carry atheism on their head. It's like, I understand that, yes, when I lost my faith, I found myself in that boat where every morning, afternoon, and night, every day, I was always bashing Christianity. I was always like posting weird shit, like going on Christian forums and just like attacking anybody I could attack, and just talking nonsense and trying to debate with literally everybody I came across with. And just that was the only topic that was the only thing I could do. As in, I understand that, because okay, I'm going to like, the excuse I can give for that is because I had recently lost my faith, and I was just like angry at the fact that everything I had known up until that point in time was a lie. And so I was just lashing out, and I was just like, everybody was just catching it left and right. But it got to a point where I started like thinking, I was like, is this the only thing I can talk about? Like, is there nothing else I can talk about? Say, okay, I had to, because of the fact that I had lost my faith and I wanted to know more about it. I started like reading a lot of books, started like listening to a lot of lectures, debates, stuff like that, just like gain more information. And I was not doing it, to, should I say, I was not doing it because I just wanted to know the truth about Christianity and the truth about religion, even though that was what I told myself. But in actuality, I was doing it just to like have more weapons and have more ammo to be able to like debate any Christian I came in contact with. I think now that I've made my peace with the whole thing, I can be able to like be honest enough with myself to admit that. Do you understand? So, but now that I've come, like I don't really, as in, I've outgrown all of that stuff, and I don't really like, even though sometimes it's inevitable. For example, what we're talking about right now, um, I don't really like go out of my way. Like, if you want to be a Christian, that's fine. That's cool. If you want to be a religious person, that's nice. That's cool, actually. In fact, actually, in our current states, it's actually preferable if you're not the kind of person that will, if you're not like a militant Christian or like a militant religious person. In our current climate, it's actually it's actually welcome. It's like, you know how people used to say that the world would be better if there was no religion. That is actually a lie. That is actually a fat lie, because we humans need parental figures, and we need like ideologies that are bigger than us, and we need something to like to as in, at the end of the day, we need something to attach ourselves to, something bigger than us to attach ourselves to, that can like guide, should I say guide, and that can decide, and also can like influence us in better ways. And I think religion, as flawed as it is, as flawed as religion is one good, is should I say, is one of the best ways that the majority of humans can be able to, is one of the best tools that can control the majority of human beings. Because really truly, if as in, look at what is going on right now, look at just what's going on right now. Like, okay, you know how Friedrich Nietzsche said God is dead in his book. Wait, what is the name of the book? I know I've read this book. In the book, what's it called? Beyond Good and Evil. Yes, by Friedrich Nietzsche. So, like in the book, right, he talks about in the book he said God is dead and God remains dead and we have killed him. Like, man has killed God. And what he was trying to say in the book is that, like, first of all, God is going to be God. The idea of God is supposed to be like this focal point of morality. It's like this inception of morality, something, the standard for guidance, right? The standard for human guidance. Even though I don't agree with that, you understand? But the fact that we have erased presently, now in our present state, look at what's going on around the world. Like, I think we have erased its relevance, like the standard of morality. We have released the relevance of the standard of morality, and then we don't regard it that much. And so we now have the free will, should I say. We now have the freedom to do whatever it is that we want to do. It's like he said, God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him. And so now we have the freedom to do whatever the fuck we want to do, regardless of how it might make the next man feel, or whatever the consequence it might be. And we're no longer sailing on that boat of like the right thing to do. It's like, when I see things that are going on in this world right now, it just seems to me that nobody wants to do what's right, even though what's right is difficult. Like, everybody just wants to like live this laissez-faire, passive life. It's like maybe everybody has subconsciously adopted to this idea of nihilism, where nothing matters, and so everybody's just fucking things up. I don't know. I don't want to go into that. That's not what I wanted to talk about today. But at the end of the day, what I was saying earlier, I don't regard authoritative figures, regardless of who they are. Like, for example, now we see this guy. What's his name? Mr. Beast, right? He's doing all this good stuff, like curing people's blindness, like feeding people, buying people cars, like just making life a lot better for the everyday person, right? Just being a blessing. But and I like it. I'm not even going to like deny that. I listen. I like it 100%. Like I enjoy watching his videos. I like whatever it is that he's doing. I like the fact that he brings smiles to people's faces. And there are people who criticize him because obviously everybody thinks that they can do better if they are put in that position, right? Everybody thinks that they are so intelligent and they can do better and what I don't know. There are humans that are criticizing him for curing people's blind. Like, what the fuck I say, man? Like, I like whatever everything that he's doing. I'm not criticizing it in every way, but I like him for doing just that. Do you understand? I like Mr. Beast as Mr. Beast. I like him as this YouTube personality that goes about and brings. He's literally Santa Claus. Do you understand? Only that this time around he's more realistic and he does not come once every 12 months. Like, he's literally the everyday Santa Claus and he helps people. I like him, but I like him for that. But I, I'm not going to say that I like. I don't even know what his real name is. You understand? I'm not going to say that I like Mr. Beast as in I don't know what his real name is, but let's just say his real name is Charles. In fact, let's even look it up. Sir. What am I even like? What am I like for? As in Mr. Beast's real name. Mr. Beast's real name. Jimmy Donald. What the fuck? What? Jimmy Donaldson. That's a weird name. All right. And he was born in 1998. Wow. Really? That's it's 24. Huh. Oh shit. Okay. Cool. So anyway, yeah, Jimmy Donaldson, aka Mr. Beast. I like him. I don't know what he is as a person, but obviously, even though um uh his behavior and his public persona might be a reflection of his private personality, could be, but I'm not just going to like conclude. You understand? I'm not going to like conclude that this is the entirety of him because obviously I've never met him in person. And people will say good things about him. I'm sure people that have met him in person and people that have spent time with him and stuff like that. So, but the point I'm trying to make is that I am, I just, as in, I've not been able to develop that character of liking a celebrity because they're just a celebrity and wanting to follow a celebrity because they're just a celebrity. Because I don't know these people's lives. I don't know how they live their life privately, and I'm not also in my own myself. I'm not even going to say that I'm a good person. You understand? Like, I'm not going to say that my private life is like the best private life that there is, but or that people should follow me. I feel like if you're going to like a celebrity, like the celebrity for the thing that they do, the what they put out in the world. You understand? Don't like them for, like, I see people, for example, now let's see what is her name, Rihanna. She just gave birth, and see people like, okay, not even Rihanna herself. Like, you see fan accounts for celebrities. Like, what? Why are you going out of your way every day to look for I don't know, should I say, to look for pictures of celebrities and videos of a particular celebrity that you might like, and then posting it every single day, and as a fan, that's that's weird. Imagine that you're a celebrity, and somebody and you just go online and you see like thousands of unaffiliated accounts of yourself, of people, of pictures of you doing random things and stuff like that. That's, I don't know where I'm going with this, but at the end of the day, back to whatever it is I was talking about. I don't like celebrity worship. I've never liked celebrity worship, and wherever it happens, the truth always comes out that these people that's we are not we you are all worshiping are as flawed as, if not even more flawed than you are, because imagine the leader of a religious institution, the actual leader, like the boss, the last person to kill in the video game, like the leader of a religious institution, um sexually molesting a child in public in front of everybody. That's sad, man. And I don't know how this is going to sound or what it's going to look like in the for the whole Buddhism ideology or Buddhist philosophy or whatever. I don't know how they're going to take it. I don't know how they're going to react to it. I don't know how they're going to, like, come to terms with it and give the best excuse for it. Because so far, whatever it is that's to them seems like an excuse that they're trying to give does not make any sense at all. It does not make any sense at all. And I feel like let me see. Let's check. Has the Dalai Lama, wait, no, how many followers? Let's see how many followers has the Dalai Lama lost so far. Right. Let's see if there's an answer to that. Well, I don't know. I don't know, man. So, yeah, weird. Let's take it. Let's take it a step further. Like let's take it far, but not far enough. Not too far, just far enough. Listen, people that I understand that what this guy did is horribly wrong, right? Like deplorably, abhorrently, inexcusably wrong. Let's just get that out of the way, right? I understand that what this man did is like fucked up, but you know how, as in what I'm about to say is going to be weird. Obviously, I say weird shit all the time. See, now when there's like a fucking school shooting, right? Like when not a school shooting, like when there's a mass shooting, because obviously, in fact, school shooting, right? Because obviously, no, let's not go let's not go let's not go there, let's not go that far, but let's just say when there's like a mass shooting, right, and like 50 people are killed. Let's say 50 people are killed. You know how the media always says that like 50 innocent people were killed. It's like, I don't know, there's something that just rings in my brain, like, really, all 50 of them were innocent people? Like, I understand that it's contextual. Like, in this context, these 50 people that were killed were obviously not doing any shit, and like they were just like going about their own business, going about their day, and then all of a sudden they got wiped out by some maniac, right? So that's why we call them 50 innocent people. But they're really innocent though. It's like, that's just how I see things. So I understand that what I'm saying, what this stuff I'm saying now, it's kind of fucked up, right? This stuff I'm saying right now is messed up, and you're not supposed to say that. It's like, I don't know if there's like there's like a hint of political correctness to it, but I just don't think that everybody is innocent. Like, I don't think that everybody. Maybe if I'm caught up like okay, for example, now me personally, if I'm caught up in like a mass shooting, like if I'm the victim of a mass shooting, do I really think I'm innocent? Like, is my life, will I consider myself an innocent person? Like, am I good enough to be, am I good enough as a human being to be considered and to be termed and tagged an innocent person? I don't know. Maybe I'm just projecting, right? Maybe I'm just projecting. Maybe I'm just saying weird stuff. But I don't think anybody's innocent. It's like, okay, the right word I think I'm trying to look for. Obviously, there are people that are innocent. There are people that are victimless or blameless. I suppose there are people that are good people to an extent, but I don't think that anybody, the right word I was trying to get to, the right word I was trying to look for is altruistic. I don't think anybody is altruistic. Even someone as philanthropic as Mr. Beast, I don't think anybody is altruistic, because now people like to say, oh, I'm a good person, I cannot do this, I'm a good person. People like to claim that they are good people, right? And people like to put themselves on that high pedestal, and just like it's like people like virtue signaling. It's like people like projecting this perception of themselves being good and emulative, and import self people like imposing this idea of self-importance, that people can like look at them and be like, oh, this person is a good person, this person should be you have to like learn how to be like this person and stuff like that. It happens all the time with our species. It's like, for example, now when you see, let me just take the nearest example I can give, the most reachable example. Let's say someone like what is his fucking name again now? See, now I've forgotten his name. Ben Shapiro. We all know the guy Ben. We all know Ben Shapiro, right? He talks fast. He's like an intellectual, a Jewish intellectual, a political commentator, this and that. He talks a lot of stuff. Um, let's just use him as an example, right? Or let's say someone like Jordan Peterson, right? These people are very intelligent, obviously, and they are very eloquent when they speak, and they're very, they know how to use their words, and they like, quote unquote, they stand up for what we assume or what we perceive as the truth, like no gay marriage, like they always fight the whole transgender stuff, they always fight for what is right. But there's always a question that is always locking at the back of my head, like not even only them, like most people who like to is it espouse, most people who like to fight for, quote unquote, the truth. Like, why are you fighting for the truth? And also the question that is always usually at the back of my head is, are you actually fighting for the truth, or are you just trying to like show everybody that you're morally superior? You understand? It's like, why are you, as in, nobody is altruistic, basically. Nobody is the like jagaban of moral superiority. You understand? Everybody is just the same, and everybody has their own vices and virtues, and it's different. And also the fact that you're condemning somebody, let's say somebody is let's not this what this guy did is inexcusable, what this Dalai Lama did is inexcusable, right? But let us, as in, so if let's say, like, for example, now all these transgender people that are obscuring the fact of gender and biology and fucking what is it called, pronouns and stuff. Let's say these people, let's just use them as an example, like, and these are the people that people like, let's say Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh and fucking Jordan Peterson like battling, right? These are the people at the battle. And the question I always ask myself is, are they really battling these people because like they want to fight for the truth, or do they battle these people to like signal to everybody else that they are the ones that are the crusaders for truth, and they are fighting for the truth and stuff like that? I don't know where I'm going with this, but at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that I don't think anybody is altruistic, because everybody has a price. Do you understand? Everybody has a price, and everybody can be bought, regardless of how morally superior you are, regardless of how religious you are, regardless of how principled you think you might be. There is a price. Everybody has a price. Even me, I have a price. Everybody has a price, and everybody can be bought. How do I know that, you might ask? Let me tell you how I know that nobody is altruistic, and all this whole fast, all this whole semblance and all this whole virtue signaling of people behaving as if they are good people, or people doing as if they are good. All of it is just a facade, and I'm going to tell you how. Listen, first of all, right? First of all, you know how Christians like talking about how the mark of the beast is going to be the signal of people that side with the antichrist and people that are against the antichrist, and the mark of the beast is like is you understand all that weird shit that they talk about now, right? So here is my question. Here is my question. Do you really think do Christians really think that if there actually was, like, let's say if the whole Christian law was real, and then the Antichrist came and you needed the mark of the beast, like the mark of the Antichrist, to be part of his army or something like that? I don't know. If that actually is true, or if that actually is like something that will happen, do Christians really think that they will have the choice to, or they will have the willpower, in fact, or the dignity, or like the courage, or the fucking, bravado to reject the mark of the beast? Like, is that most the Christians that think that they are candidates of the Christians that think that they are candidates of heaven are the same Christians that think that they can be able to resist the mark of the beast. And that's not only delusional. If truly there is ever going to be something like the Antichrist, someone that will come and like divide nations and like, basically the pawn of Satan. If there is actually something like that is going to happen, it's actually delusional to think that you can reject it. Not only delusional, it's actually stupid and actually self-detrimental to actually think that you can reject the mark of the beast. Because first of all, I don't think the mark of the beast is going to be an actual mark because then that would be weird. Secondly, that would just be stupid, because why will you need a mark? It's like, why would it be like a tattoo or something? It doesn't have to be, as in, yes, I understand that in the Bible it was like described as some weird mark that will be on people's forehead and arms and stuff like that. But in reality, it would be a lot more I think that was just an oversimplification of it. But in reality, it would be a lot more complex and more, it would be a lot more than that. In the sense that, look at what the pandemic did to us, and it's just a small pandemic. Look at how fucked up the pandemic. Look at the level of fuckery the pandemic caused in the world, and so it's just something that it's not that serious. You understand? It shut down economies, it shut down countries, it shut down everywhere. You understand? People were on it. People lost their jobs. People lost their houses. People lost their livelihood. People lost families. People like lost. There was a lot of chaos, and it's hard. First of all, it's hard to believe that the pandemic was just. It's just, as in, it's hard to believe that the pandemic was a mere 3 years ago. It still feels like yesterday, and it still feels like it's still going on to an extent. But it's hard to believe that the pandemic was like 3 years ago, and all of that craziness happened 3 entire years ago. But look at the level of chaos that it caused. You understand? Secondly, another thing again is like this whole cashless bullshit that is going on in Nigeria. Right? Look at how much disruption it has caused. Look at the way people are just starving. People cannot like eat. People cannot to transfer money. There is no money, in fact, to transfer, first of all. And when you're able to like get little money to transfer, you lose almost 40% of it. And it's just difficult, and people are starving, and people are dying and stuff like that, and people are starting to loot. As in, I'm sure everything has died down by now, because obviously we're still, even though the election has officially ended, they're still fighting for the results in courts. Nigeria and Wahala. But look at the level of disruption just that whole stuff costs in a very short amount of time, a very small amount of time, actually. So try to imagine that there is a world where the Antichrist exists and he's like the tool of Satan and he has come to, like, divide the world and stuff like that, whatever it is that was written in the Bible. Do you really think that you can be able to evade it? Because the mark of the beast will be so, I feel like the mark of the beast will be so ingrained in society, will be so essential to society and to human beings, and it will be so ingrained in every aspect of our lives that rejecting it will literally mean suicide. One example that comes to mind is ATM cards. You understand? Medical insurance, transportation, fucking where uh home, as in your, what's it called, housing. Yeah, that's one aspect of it. Like, there are so many things that we cannot do without internet. We cannot do without internet. I see when my housemates, when the internet goes off, for sometimes when there's poor internet, I usually like sense, and I usually observe my housemates and observe how they are so restless without it. And so, it's like they are hooked to it. They're so, as it's like they need that dopamine feel. They need to be hooked, like in, they need to like be connected, they need to be plugged in. And when, as in my housemates are grown men. Let's talk about fucking teenagers. Like, when you don't give them what's, when you take away Wi-Fi, when you take away internet from, or when you take away your phones, basically. What am I even, your phones? People cannot live without there are people that cannot live without their phones. I think I saw this interview one time where they asked somebody, where they asked one of these Instagram influencers that if you are stuck on the desert, like, what will you need? And so one of them like said her phone. What? I mean, obviously, yeah, you need your phone for, like, to call for help and stuff like that. I don't know, but yeah, we cannot live without our phones. We cannot live without ATM credit cards. We cannot live without fucking. I'm sure there are countries where people like do, but medical access. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about medical insurance, because there are a lot of people that don't have medical insurance. But I'm talking about medical access. I'm talking about access to food. I'm talking about access to clothing. I'm talking about access to, like, care, basically access to be seen and access to be acknowledged. Um, that I think will be the fucking the mark of the beast. Something that will be so essential to human beings that they cannot live without it, and them deciding, choosing to live without it, to just be will just mean you being left behind. It's like, try to imagine someone using an iPhone 3 in this day, and or someone using fucking Nokia or BlackBerry in this day and age. Try to imagine someone still, like, let's say the Amish people that still like use horses and carts and stuff like that. Try to imagine third world countries that are not as technologically advanced as most first world countries. Do you understand? Like, try to imagine the gap between them. Try to imagine how far behind we in Nigeria. Imagine Nigeria now as one of, like, the most populous countries in Africa, or if not the most populous country in Africa. But yet, try to imagine how far behind we are in how far behind we are with somewhere like, let's say, China, or somewhere like the Netherlands, or somewhere like, let's say, Germany, or somewhere like the United States. Imagine how far behind we are technologically. Imagine how far behind we are, like, in fact, in most aspects of life. Do you understand? So put that same put as in just put it in the same context of someone who is choosing to refuse the mark of the beast. Like, in China now, right now, they have something that is something like the mark of the beast. They have this social credit score system where people get credits, people get their credit scores increase and decrease based on how they act in society. For example, if you litter, or if you, like, drive through a red light or a zebra crossing, or if you're, like, I don't know, you're talking bad against the government, or if you're doing something that the government does not like, your credit score will be reduced. And also, the same way, if you're doing things that the government likes, your credit score will be increased in China. So basically, China now is running like some weird, odd mark of the beast system, and it's affecting people's lives in so many ways. So I feel like it's the same way that um like it's the same thing basically I'm talking about. And also s- um to go back to what I was saying initially about people being good and people being and nobody being altruistic. Um, let's say the reason, as in the point I was trying to make is that um humans, which person do you know today, and based on everything I just said right now, which person do you know today that will gladly give up their phones? But if you knew today right now, like if you knew today right now as I'm talking with you now, that there are people in the Democratic Republic of Congo who are actual slaves, who are like digging for the cobalt used in making your phone, like literally every single phone, every single electronic device that has a battery in it, be it your laptop, be it your phone, be it your computer game, be it your fucking Bluetooth headset, be it your electric car, be it whatever electronic device you have that has a battery in it, and the battery has cobalt. Do batteries have cobalt? I don't know. Whatever electronic device you have that has cobalt in it is being made by slaves. The cobalt is being harvested by slaves in the DRC, and you're part of that. As long as you know that, as long as you have that with you, you are part of that link. You're part of that problem. So, will you be able? Are you able? Will you be willing to like give up your electronic device if you knew that if it was made by slaves? Like there's this video I saw there's this video I saw on Twitter where they were literally digging up people that had been like um I don't know what I'm going to call it. People that were swallowed up, that were buried alive by a falling. I don't know what I'm going to call it, like a cliff, like a falling. What I don't know how I'm going to like put it, but there are people that were being dug out by other workers that were buried alive, and it's happened in Congo. So everybody is guilty of it, as long as long as you own a phone, as long as you own a laptop, as long as you own like a fucking electronic device, you're guilty of the fact that you're supporting people, you're supporting slavery in the Congo, and you're supporting all these Chinese companies, because most of all these things are done in China, are produced, are packaged in China, are like I don't know the word to use, and there is no regulation. Like all these companies know that this is what is happening, because you cannot tell me that they don't know. You cannot tell me that a company like Apple does not know that where the cobalts are coming from. They're being dug up. They're being like mined by slaves. You understand? Because obviously it's the logical thing to do. That's why they're trying to like implement machines to take over jobs now, because machines don't sleep and machines don't ask for money. So if you're looking for somewhere, if you're looking to make a profit, you're going to like look for somebody that is going to do the job for you as cheap as possible, right? So that's why they've given the jobs basically to slaves, and then they pay them less. They pay them literally nothing, and then they do the job. So if so, back to what I was saying, right? Nobody is altruistic, because if you knew today that your phones, your electronic devices are being made by slaves, are you going to give it up? That is just my basic question. Like, are you going to give it up? I don't know. This is not. I'm just touching on this a little bit. Maybe I'm going to like talk. Maybe I'm going to go in depth. Um, a bit more in depth about it in some other time. But this is just me saying it. This is just me like ranting. And for the love of me, I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, that I believe that's all I am capable. I am presently capable of saying today. And thank you guys for like spending your time with me. Thank you for giving me your listening ears. Don't forget to rate the episode, and also share it with people that you think might find it interesting. And also email me and follow me on Twitter, General Prime One. And yeah, I believe that's that about that. And I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye everybody.